So I think practicing some form of stoicism where you really try to remove all of the non-essential things in your life, the idea that you just walk forward, you can't control anybody else, you can't control the world around you, but the only thing you could do is just live your life as modestly and as not thinking and worrying about the outside world is like so important. And the more that I do this, the more that um, I try to live my own life, the more I realize like how important it is just to walk forward as if you are doing your own thing, as if you're not worried about the outside world, as if you are just not caring about a lot of different things. And it's interesting when you see this in this moment of where this actually happens in your life. For me, anyways, I didn't think that this would be such an important part of my life, but I really do have to do that. I have to walk ahead as if I don't care about anything. Um, and it's in a lot of ways, that's the internal struggle that you kind of face, right? Like you want to impress other people, you want to, do well, you want all these kind of things. Um, that for me, I've always wanted to, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of that whole popularity contest, right? Like you actually want to um, be recognized, I guess. But then what ends up happening is like as that happens, you realize that you can't impress upon other people, and that other people that you impress upon, they might do things that, um, you know, might not be in your benefit in any sort of way. And then what you end up thinking about is like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, why don't I just walk forward? Why don't I just take one step at a time without worrying about the world, right? And I think so. I don't know which one of the sort of Stoic philosophers, or maybe they all were, but one of them was the Roman Empire, and the most powerful person in the world, and he would walk in the streets in like normal garbs and just kind of go and practice being not the sort of Roman Empire, right? And be part of everybody else and kind of just disappear. And I think there's something about that I think is very important, where you are just being yourself and not worrying about the outside world, and practicing that as much as you possibly can, of just being normal, just normal in the sense of just blending in and not worrying about all the other things, right, that come along with it, and stop worrying about trying to impress upon others. And, because what ends up happening is that uh, you end up doing successful or whatever in an area, and then, people copy what you're doing, and then you think about like, man, what am I doing here, right? And you're actually doing the right thing, and you're doing everything, but then you have to take a step back and say, hey, wait a minute, like I need to, recognize it as it is, and just be myself, and not worry about the outside world. Just kind of go into that little hole where you are being who you are, and you forget about everything else that goes on around you, and then you just live your life. I think about, there's a lot of people out there that are in these kind of positions that require a lot of stoicism, where you just live your life and you be yourself no matter what. is going on, right? Like there's a lot of difficult things that you have to do that, people would sort of think as power positions and things like that, but who the hell cares, right? At the end of the day, who the hell cares? And you have to sort of practice that. That just walking forward. I think about like CEOs, for example, of a large company. Like, if you're going to be good at it, you have to practice a lot of stoicism. You have to be very stoic, where you just do your thing and not worry about the outside world. And I think the more that you practice that, the better off that you actually are. Um, for me, it's hard and I struggle with it, but I have to learn how to do that. And I really need to practice that. And maybe it's a practice skill that you get better at over time. Maybe not, but maybe, it's something that you get better at as you get older and you sort of deal with it. Um, but I think it's important in all of our lives. Just figure out how to not worry about the outside world moving up, you know, all of that kind of stuff, and just live as if you're nothing. Like, you're nothing, right? Like, you're going to come into the world, do your thing, and then you'll eventually die, and it'll be just a brief moment. And I think that's a really important sort of thing to think about, is the mortality that we all have. That is such a fleeting thing, and the only thing that matters is that you just try to do good. And I think that's important. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.